Hmm. Hmm. Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Well, guess I'll listen to some music. Let's check it out.
I go hard, I go fast, and I'll never look back. I go speeding on the highway, but no crash. Turn the volume up in the body, put your hands up and dance. Go forever and ever. Bounce, never sleep, push it all on repeat. I go speeding on the highway, flame burning toy screens. Turn the volume up in your bedroom, put your hands up and dance. Go forever and ever. Body high, blue and pink like the sky. I go speeding on the highway, room, boom in my thigh. Turn the volume up in your Prius windows, bomb in the race. Go forever and ever. Roll with your friends out till 7 a.m. Come and meet me on the highest race. Turn the volume up, but the speakers got that look on your face. Go forever and ever. I go fast and I go speeding on the highway.
Hello, Bean. How are you?
Good evening.
Good
I'm good.
evening.
Well, it's 8 p.m. over here.
Wow.
Forget what time.
Oh, look who it is. Brink.
Hey,
What's up,
Big
man?
man Brink.
what's up?
What's going on?
Yes.
Good.
Good talk.
Good talk. Okay. Good live stream. Have a good one, guys.
All right, bye.
All right. So,
Oh,
what do you got? What's up with you guys? How's music been? Oh, David, Tempting Time coming through. Yeah, how's music been, guys?
busy time. Sadly not busy with music, but there will be a time when I'm not as busy eventually. And then there will be lots of music.
Release some of it, maybe.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh god.
Oh, Brink, I was meaning to tell you, I'm gonna put your remix of my song, the one that you did for the remix contest, Brain Melt, in a mix, DJ mix, that's going to benefit charity.
Okay.
So it's a actual, here, let me show you guys, share my screen. It's an actual block party that is going to be happening here, AAZMC Society, and it's run by this guy. And check it out, there's a whole flyer and shit. It's going to be September 28th, 5 p.m. PST.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
it's going to be the bomb diggity. And
That's
it's
amazing.
money to raise money and awareness to A21, an organization that seeks to end sex trafficking. So
Nice.
yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So yeah, I'm hoping that's okay with you, Brink. What do you think?
That's entirely okay.
Sweet.
I'm you're more than welcome to do that. That was
Beautiful.
awesome.
Awesome. Now, with regards to our Discord, did we finish up? Did we pick a winner for the 6-second
6 second.
contest? Did we do that yet?
Did you do that, Bean?
No, not yet. I said I just picked an arbitrary date of Saturday for people to vote if they haven't already. But I think, to be honest, anybody who's bothered will have. And with these things, you always say vote, but then there's usually someone that you can immediately go, yeah, that's the one.
Right.
Picks up actually.
So I actually
Pixel
haven't
still
heard the.
tastes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Pixel Whistle taste. There it is. He's got 34.
Yeah, let's look here because I haven't actually heard the recent submissions. I was thinking we could maybe even do that now. Challenge
There aren't
submissions.
too many, but
Mm.
Taste actually afterwards he's took it and made it into. I think he's working on a whole track out of his.
Nice.
His was like the crazy, like almost like the track sounds almost TPAB like he's got some fucking saxophone on there, and he's got like some lovely bass bits, and it's just really cool.
TPAB.
Yeah, what the heck is that?
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Have you guys all heard these?
Yeah. Not
Listen
sure if I
to
remember them, all of them though.
I listened to a lot of them at some point. I mean, exactly like on the stream, it's great because you're just like, aha, I'm only committing 6 seconds to listening to this random thing.
Right.
Nice.
But then you realize
Some-
there's so little to judge that it's hard to like choose which one to like.
Oh, I
And
don't know
there's
about that.
and there's no limit on the likes. You can like as many as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the way I look at it, the more you like, the less of an impact your vote sort of has.
Right.
But obviously that doesn't matter because you could like a load of them and it's all good. And again, as I said, we're voting, but I mean, Taste is like heavily in the lead. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, to be honest.
Tights.
Tice.
Yeah,
Nice
that's how
it
you
is.
put it. Tights.
Taste.
Man, he's an absolute mad lad.
Yeah, he's
Well,
great.
If you guys don't mind, I would love to hear the latest ones. What do you think? David, have you heard these?
Just the ones from your stream last week, I think.
Gotcha.
Maybe a couple of.
Yeah,
I
we
should
could give him a little
play.
listen.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
give
only
it
6
another
seconds.
listen. Yeah. All right, let me know if you guys can hear these.
They all sound like
Interesting.
those, like something you'd see on a cable network, like in between shows or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
This is like some sitcom type
Very-
situation.
The ending is really wholesome.
Let's hear it one more time. Sick.
I think it's almost an art to pack like a load of development in such a small amount of time, because I think some of them really sound like like a complete experience, like a complete thing, and then some of them sound like loops that have just been ended very quickly. If that makes sense. Like that one gave me the vibe of like, yeah, this is going to go somewhere, rather than like, oh, this is going somewhere and we've arrived and it's over.
Right.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if some people just like took one of their songs and just took out a loop and just like put a little bit of an ending on and slapped that in there.
Yeah,
I
like
should.
just highlighted a 6.5-second section of their finished song and just submitted that.
Bingo.
Like even if it cuts out abruptly, it's just whatever.
But yeah, well, I think it was a really good prompt to try and get the proper version of that, of like trying to actually create like an experience within such a short amount of time, because
That was tempting.
especially it's especially good for trying to get out of like loopitis, because you can't afford to loop anything when you've only got like 6 seconds.
Totally. All right.
But
Well,
some of them would just blow me away.
yeah, let's keep going. Welcome, Cade. Welcome. All right. Let's hear this one. When You High AF, I Suck at Producing. Sounds promising. Let's take a listen.
Hi, I'm
Oh, Jesus.
You suck at producing.
Wow. Wow, that was Jesus Christ.
Accurate description.
Oh
Like
my God.
I just imagine you made like a kids show and like there's just like a kids audience.
Oh no.
Oh my God, that would just scar
Wow.
children for life.
Hi, underbelly.
The belly's been eating too much Play-Doh.
Go ahead.
Holy fuck. Yeah, I do not approve of that message. Wow, I was not expecting that. Okay. Alex, have you Pixel, what's up? Have you guys
What's up?
all heard this one?
No.
Okay, this is gonna be fucking weird. I don't know if I could even take this again, but here we go.
Hi,
Just
I'm
cover your
Underbelly.
nose.
You suck at producing.
Oh God.
Oh,
Amazing.
It's like the
Jesus Christ.
intro to like the weirdest radio show ever.
It's like the fucking intro to SpongeBob.
this guy likes YouTube poop is what he likes.
I feel like
Yes.
I feel like
Eat the
Discord,
poo-poo.
Yeah.
Discord has AIDS.
He is
Because they literally do like the pitched voices thing, like loads on like those sort of little radio stingers. But
oh,
wow.
ouch. Boom, bop, bop.
All right. Well, let's move on. Beer is a Dream by Grandpa Kitten.
Is that one?
Okay, that's
Interesting.
definitely one of those that feels like they just cut out
Sounds
6 seconds out of
loopy.
their song and decided
Yeah,
to
that sounds
submit
creepy.
that.
Well, it's unique. I
It
guess.
was unique, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna not give a thumbs up to that one. Let's do Daddy. Oh jeez.
Oh,
With Jingle. Here we go.
Oh my
Wow.
god. The
Holy
fucking
shit.
I love the groove.
I like the vibe, but mix needs work.
like how this dad made Genesis
Wow.
music.
Like you'd find those like old shovelware Atari games or something.
Yeah. And you guys watch Tim and Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah, this just feels like a theme song from Cinco, their fake TV news channel. It's just like it's
Perfect.
exactly what this brings. I'm gonna play it again real quick.
Jeez.
I'll just take a lick at the end.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I mean, it's pretty awesome that they resolved that because it just sounds so fucked up.
I mean, surely anything would be a resolution.
Yeah.
Is that the fucked up scale?
Any resolution.
Tell me
Yeah,
yesterday.
that's Locrian right there, maybe.
Oh
I don't even
god.
know.
He's the only one to successfully go from Locrian to complete resolve.
Frontiers in music.
Okay, I'm actually gonna turn off monitoring on my voice.
Nice. Full sitcom.
Welcome to
Yeah.
Starfish
Tim and
Radio.
Eric.
I feel like I was
Actually
about to
sounds like a
watch-
legit sick.
It's like a public school announcement, like show from the 90s or something.
The more you know.
It's only when you look at yourself. You
I
realize
feel like
The less you suck.
I feel like a PBS news article is about to hit.
I'm about to learn some shit.
Now
I can just imagine like the scene fading to you, like sitting in your room, just like contemplating. Like, I don't know what to do.
Dude, where's my sausage fattener?
Oh.
Then it's just like blasted, like distorted canned laughter.
To discuss.
6.5
Oh,
out of 10.
Mando.
I like that name.
Pre-rated.
Must have rounded it up.
Got a few tongues.
Wait, Brinch, isn't that the same melody as yours?
No?
It's the fucking
No,
lick.
not with the fucked up note in the middle of it. But no, listen to Brinch's real quick. It's right above it.
Don't worry about it.
It's the lick, man. Yeah, it's totally the same.
Wow.
You fucking.
Same wavelength.
Straight
I was the
took it.
first one to do it.
I know.
I should have done the lick.
I think
Honestly.
it's the
Okay.
6-second challenge because it's like that's how long it takes to plagiarize it.
Operator.
Operator.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing. That would be an amazing,
That's gonna be
amazing contest.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
a fucked up
That's
song.
like watching a portrait melt.
Yeah.
Like that art at the end.
Oh, thank you.
Big rip.
Next one is in kazoos.
Stop doing this.
Too much like.
Food.
Wow. For sure.
The melt. There was an idea I had for something we could do, which would be a bit of a ball ache to organize, but it would be like a musical version of an Exquisite Corpse. If you've ever played that game where you like someone draws like the head of like a person, and then someone draws the body, and then someone draws the legs and like the feet without seeing any of the other parts, but only knowing like which bit they have to line up. I think doing like a musical version of that would be amazing.
That would
You
be
could just
amazing.
you only get like the last little bit of the previous section. to
Like
try
each
and,
person gets
transition
like
from
4
that.
bars, but they get like a bar from the previous section or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That could
maybe
be
like
fun.
a BPM or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could end up really bizarre.
That's gonna.
Then we do a beautiful corpse animation over that, so it's a beautiful corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've ever seen I think the Rick and Morty animators did one like to a Run the
Yeah.
Jewels track, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just really trippy because it is like a different animation style, like
Yeah.
every like 5 seconds. But that's something like that would be I think that'd be really cool. Exquisite Corpse, I think is the name.
Exquisite.
I used to call it Beautiful Corpse as well. I used to get that confused all the time.
I never knew it had a name until I saw that Rick and Morty video. I'm like, oh, that's what that was called. It had like an actual name, not just the like draw bits game. You fold the paper.
Worked on an Exquisite Corpse music video with Deadmau5.
Name.
Flexing a little. Yeah, no, it's doable. Like if people put in like 5 seconds, like it can like turn out to be really cool if you get a good crew. If you get a shitty crew, then you get a mix of operator and an exquisite corpse, which is an abomination.
So just some of it's like, wow, this is a really cool take, and the other's like, it's fucking melted.
Yeah, yeah. Or yeah,
How do I
honestly.
save this ass?
Could be great.
If you don't give them a BPM, it's gonna get
Or just
really
give them one bar from the previous set of bars and they can figure out the BPM.
sure.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Trust no one.
If you trust the community, they're gonna distort it. They're gonna be like, I thought this one was 90. I thought this one was 160. Like, oh
Just
no.
keep increasing it 1 BPM each person. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? We should just go for it.
Yeah. I think that would be just quite a fun thing to do as a like as a sort of it's sort of like a collab in of itself, because you're basically just getting everyone to chip in something with their own style. I think that'd be super cool. But the way you'd have to organize it people would have to like, I guess you'd just be like, who wants to do the next slice? And someone's like me, and then you go, okay, here's your 1 bar.
It's almost like we need to have a list of people that are in it and then have a spreadsheet of like who is in what order.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can create like names that are chains.
Yeah, kind of like a pass the track kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a good name for it.
Pass the track, yeah.
Do we want
That's the track.
We might
So-
Spaghetti track.
I'm just trying to think of like all the different types of
Melodious
genres
track.
that people contribute on the server, and like how many different types of samples are going to be used in this BPM and the smorgasbord of things that are going into that. It's going to be, so maybe if we came up with a set of sounds or like a pack or something like that.
Yeah. Like include a pack with it and collect it and save it all and pass it along.
Yeah, that way people
I
want
don't know. I kind of want the smorgasbord.
Yeah, for sure.
chaos.
Give
Chaos!
it everything.
And like standardization.
Don't worry,
chaos.
It's still going to be Frankenstein, I assure you. It's going to, but fuck it, anarchy. I'm down.
Anarchy.
As long as people nail the transitions, you know.
I'm sure they completely will too.
Faith. Gotta have faith.
God, I'm scared of what the users are gonna make.
Oh yikes! Yeah.
Good point.
I think it would have to be like maybe some sort of
Like
I
a
don't know.
middleman.
Yeah.
Like you need to.
That defeats the purpose. You
Or do we
need
just-
to have a
You have
middleman.
somebody like handing it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they would send it back to the ringleader or whatever, then they would send it to the next person, only including 1 bar.
Yeah.
It could be half the bars or like half of it.
And I guess you'd need somebody to assemble it all in the end.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That could be kind of messy.
Yeah.
It's a logistical nightmare, but it would sound pretty amazing.
It's just like listening to it slowly getting worse.
I'm just trying.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Downward
there goes the
spiral.
arpeggio. I know you well.
If we were
It's
going
gonna
between tracks, would we fade them, crossfade them, or would we cut to them?
Yes, but
Well, I think
Yeah.
I would love
think-
to end
I
it.
think the idea is that with them having the last bar or the last half bar of the last thing, then they should be able to just replace that bit of the bit before, and it should transition like completely smoothly because that's just cut off the end of the previous one. As long as they don't just go, oh, okay, I got the last bar of the previous one, and then I'll just have mine cut from that immediately. Then that should work. Question mark.
Man. This is gonna.
I feel like we need a
Okay.
diagram. I need a picture.
I need a picture.
I'm just trying to think
Hang
of
on.
like all the possibilities of like the end of this project. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like different participants and like what shit would sound like.
Or do we
I'm
just
all for it though.
or do we just have a X number of people want to enter, and then each person gets 4 bars, and then
And what if they like
somebody
slotted, like,
is like voted to assemble it at the end or something like that.
You assembler.
Or it could
Yeah.
be community assembled, or we could draw numbers and it could be randomly assembled.
you've been chosen as the assembler.
I think
You need
But
to
that
know
would
the
be
order at the
complete
start.
madness.
you need
Because
to know the
people
order.
have to make the bits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You need to know the order and you need to know like what you're doing because
Mhm.
that could
You need
get
a
really
previous
messy.
person to do their thing so that you're the end of their thing, and then you can make your thing.
Just have to skip them.
Skip them.
But I'm trying to think of like how's the project file going to work? Are you just going to like remove everything but
Just
the
have to
last
be
bar
samples.
and pass it along?
It's all audio.
You just export the audio for that. It
Oh,
would be
okay.
an
Yeah,
absolute
just pass
nightmare
stems
to
across.
try and pass along project files. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Yeah, also like
Yeah.
accounting for different versions of the
And plugins and everything. Sharing project
Yeah.
files is just a
Yeah,
pain.
That's a good point. Just give the stems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just give it stems.
Audio only.
then fuck me because I use Renoise.
Stems, innit?
Suck it, Brinch.
I mean, I also use Renoise.
Yeah, so I guess each person would just export their stems, send it to the ringleader. He would just include the last bar and send it to the next.
Well,
Yeah.
you can export each track separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my main concern is importing stems.
Ooh.
Renoise
Well,
is
it
all
works
MIDI.
much better with like short samples triggered by MIDI. Everything has to be triggered by MIDI, so you can't like just pop in a waveform and fuck around with it.
Could you just have those ends of the stems be triggered by MIDI though?
It's 2019. Renoise.
Like a sampler, right?
Yeah, it's really good at sampling and it's really good at time stretching now.
Yeah,
Just
now.
trigger the samples.
They have a new feature for that, so there should be no excuse.
Well, you could use a tool before, but it's a bit fiddly.
Yeah, it's a little
Hey, I've got an idea. Why not do a dry run with all the patrons to see if it works
Yeah, let's.
before even.
We can do all
the rest.
the beta games with the patron gang, and then
Guinea pig gang.
then the people, the crowd gets the sloppy seconds.
I think it's
Operator.
the
Let's fuck it up.
corpse. Or are we fucking something up?
I think the operator is going to take the most working out, I think. Yeah, you're true. Yeah, that's right.
Operator, you just pass a sample over and over,
Hmm.
and it just
Yeah, that should be
there
easy.
doesn't need to be an order. People just can
Yeah.
just hop on.
Hmm.
Okay.
So wait, let me just run me through the idea of operator again. Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what was it about? Also, the exploding stems thing?
Maybe you
or
should start.
Whoops thing.
Yeah, just one audio file. Hmm. That one.
Yep.
We're gonna
That would be fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
Sounds the simplest one as well.
Oh. Yeah.
No one's gonna be able to do it.
Recreate the synth.
It's too high level for me.
Is that a sine wave?
Just a half a second clip of just Pixelwax.
Oh, I saw a compilation of synth fart sounds for like 10 minutes. We could do a contest where it's like make the weirdest sound and then make a song out of it or something. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people have to like make songs out of like weird shit that people throw out. Mm. Yeah, it's if you're
Yeah, that's the
underground.
thing with like pure sample challenges. I swear half the time it's just like, how good are you at just making of getting like just little tiny little wave bits and stuff out of samples? It's
Yeah.
like, congratulations, you defeated the point of trying to use a weird sound. Or just turning it into like just basically a synth, or just like it's just being quite granular about it and like making a texture out of it. It's like, yeah, I guess you use a sample, but
Like someone's like, I made a bass by taking like a small clip of the sample and then looping it, and then I made a kick using the same thing. And it's like, you can do it with anything.
I made a kick using a sample pack made with kicks.
Yeah, nice one. Or we don't need sample packs. This is the future.
Single waves. Single waveform.
Download, just find download link.
Yeah, it's like difficult to create challenges where everybody's included, and yet there's like a structure that people want to move forward towards. So it's really interesting to see like how we're going to move forward to continue making like community challenges.
our big ones are usually quite good, I think. The blooming remix ones, they blow up massively, obviously, because you've got the main channel clout, I guess. So much clout on offer that they're pretty massive. So completely random people just come out of the blue and start posting stuff, and it's like, okay, all right. And the other ones that we do usually they're quite hard to come up with, but once you have come up with them, they're usually quite fun and quite good, because obviously the thing is, you want with the challenges, you want it to be specific enough that people couldn't just take a track and be like, yep, look, this is my entry. Aha. So like even with a 6.5 second thing, it's like, well, yeah, it was very hard to take a normal thing that you would do and then manipulate that to try and fit the guidelines, because the point of it isn't, but they just don't sound as good because it really defeats the point of the prompt. So it is quite hard to come up with something like that where it doesn't just become like a pain. But I have some ideas. Some people suggested next one be like all the sounds have to be a cappella, basically. They have to be from you making noises.
Oh man.
With your mouth.
It's cool.
Interesting to say the least.
Does acapella include beatboxing?
Yeah.
Suppose it would. So yeah. And then another one I was thinking of doing at some point in the future would probably be the really basic sort of like you're only allowed like 3 voices, like an old like console or something where the sound chips only have like 3 or 4 channels. So you've got to be a lot more conservative with your like chord. Well, you're gonna have to base it up pitching everything, and you can't just play massive chords all the time. Which I definitely do, because that's basically all I do. It's just like, whoa, look, it's a 9. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. If I play all these notes, I don't have to write a melody, right?
It just has pure depth. I don't know why.
So much warmth and
Yeah, so much. That 13th and 15th, they just like.
Whoa.
Mm.
Oh god, 15th. Sharp 15th. Everyone's favorite extension.
Everyone's favorite Lydian. Wait, is
Lydian
that?
Sharp 1. Sharp 15ths are they're just like, if I remember correctly, so they're kind of completely redundant. Was it
It's a sharp 7.
Yep.
Or a sharp
It's just-
7. Or a sharp 1. Whoa.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's just modulating up half a step.
Well, it's just you're playing it on top because you've just kept stacking like thirds, like beyond
It's similar to
reason.
like the perfect fifths, where if you keep stacking fifths, it all of a sudden flips to the black keys, and then after it covers all the black keys, it flips right back to the white key.
Sharp 11s are really good though. That's like the Lydian sound.
That's okay. That's right. 8 is the number 1 again, and then 9, 10. Okay, yeah. I have to learn how to count. That's some Miyazaki stuff. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Lydian.
Maybe I should just do a challenge that just forces people to write in a certain mode.
Yeah,
Kind of
modal
boring,
challenges
but
are
also
cool.
really funny.
I know that.
Exactly.
Just have to help them a little bit.
I'm
Yeah.
almost
your
Very
video
illiterate.
could help them.
Just
I know
play
that
the white
being-
keys, but play F a lot. There you go, mode.
That challenge would
Also,
be
fun
really
challenges
good.
are doing chord progression challenges, like doing like a small list of like a chord progression people can modify or tweak it.
The thing with chord progressions, it's quite wrong. The thing with
shit,
chord
is it
progressions,
What-
it's
is it
like how at what point do you say it's just slightly modified, and at what point do you say it's an entirely new like chord progression? Because like in a vacuum, I'd say it's quite blurry.
It's kind of like in paintings when you say, well, you know, what are colors? And you're like, orange can be anything. And it's like, it's true, but you know, you can still feel what orange feels like. So if it's brown and it's more green than orange, then people will catch that, even if it is blurry. I think that it has to do with kind of like the spirit of the feeling of a chord progression.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I think what would be interesting for a harmony challenge is if you gave people a set of really awkward notes that they had to harmonize. Like just a
Yeah,
set of random notes.
Yeah, note sets. I know Ben Levin does that, and Adam Neely, what he also does is he would do like you roll a dice and then you have to modulate to different keys.
Oh yeah, Ben Levin. Yeah, he did that. He did a really good video where he takes he he takes a 12-tone row and then harmonizes it to sound all sort of nice.
That's another game that he did. Yeah, that one's dope.
Maybe we should do that as a challenge. I did that once, and it came out really nice actually. I was quite proud of it.
That sounds like my nightmare, but it would be really, really good for me to force myself to get into music theory more.
Did he force each of the 12 notes to be the root chord, or did he just make it a
Just
part
a
of
melody note, I think.
Okay.
Because
Okay, cool.
you're harmonizing it. It's just a melody on top. And
Yeah.
so then it was like, some of them you might group into one chord, and some of them it might just be a chord per note. But
Yeah, I think I saw that video, and the way that he did it was, it made sense in the way that it became like a creative tool to add spice over, like, if I made these chords, it would sound totally atonal. So it was like, there is a bit of like flexibility to play with those notes.
oh yeah, well there's this guy called Charles Cornell that just recently he did a video that was, he's done 2 videos now that basically, because he's a guy, he does, you know you've seen like you've probably seen like people when they like piano dub over like videos and stuff like that, where it's just some like speaking or some viral video or something, and someone's like playing piano to it and reharmonizing
They're
it.
trying to make it sound as if they're talking with the notes.
No, not one of those. Just like the piano dubs where they've found the melody in like the voice, and then they're harmonizing with that, and just like sort of they've made up something to it.
Yeah, they're just saying words. Yeah.
You ever seen
I
those
noticed that
ones where it's,
Everman
like,
did that.
some drumming? Let me grab one. But he basically does those, and he did a video talking about how he harmonizes them, and his thing is basically just going, well, actually, you could just do literally whatever you want. Really, there's not like rules to it. Let me. I think. It's really interesting how it ends up that way. Like,
I mean, personally,
I don't think so.
Pixelwax's like personal inclinations towards challenges have to do with theory over production. So I think like a lot of the ideas of like making exquisite corpses and things like that would be something that appeals to his skill level. But I think making simple challenges and simple games are totally fine. I think making like a chord progression challenge or something that's really simple and bare bones, people don't need to flex too hard to make something out of that.
I think that the idea of a challenge is to push people out of their comfort zone. So I think as long as you make it accessible,
bring it on.
As long as you make it accessible and sort of you have it built in that you don't have to go like all the way, but people who want to can like definitely just go like crazy. But I think it would definitely be good if you could make sure you are actually stretching people.
Yeah, I think
obviously
different skill levels for different people too. So it's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely new to this stuff, and the operator challenge seems totally approachable, and corpse challenge seems completely intimidating.
Yeah.
Give some context.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Is like
both sound incredibly fun, but yeah.
Yeah, like I get from a production standpoint where I'm also used to making like crazy stuff. I would side with Pixelwax and want to make something like that, but I also get the appeal of simpler games like the Operator Challenge, where it's one little thing and it doesn't need to be anything more than that. It doesn't need to go deeper than that. And I think that having those different types of challenges is what will engage an audience instead of just having one type fits all, I guess.
Yeah, I agree 100%. In fact, I mean, I know the 6.5 second challenge, there were some things like where people were just taking beginnings of their songs or sections of their songs, but simplicity of challenges and like the less and more is more approach is actually very good for the server. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, but I also want to, for the people that are more seasoned, to also create challenges that have depth. And I think that's what your intent is that you want to create something that's very engaging even at a deep level.
All right, yeah.
I don't know. Is that would
Right.
that is that what you're vibing with? Yeah.
Too much focus on chord progressions.
But all of those
That's it.
are
One of
totally
the- one of
attainable
the-
to me because you can take a cheat sheet, you know what you're working with, and you can
See,
work
that's
from
the-
that.
That's the problem. It shouldn't be about, just some abstract skill. It should be about expanding your palette, like your musical palette. So
But
like
that would be expanding my palette a lot.
I'm working on,
I think you'd be teaching people towards music theory that way.
I don't really agree that copy pasting chord progressions is really helping anyone. I think it helps a
Oh,
lot
no.
if you can, in sort of, well, I don't know. I think
It's
it's
almost
more
like
about
taking notes.
internalizing like certain concepts. Like for example, an example of one of these was when we did the one where it was no block chords, because I know I definitely rely on just having a load of chords. So it's a way to internalize and develop your melody writing with the challenge. And I think if you just said, "Oh, write a song using this chord progression," it's like, yeah, I could have done that. I could have just gone and googled a chord progression. I feel like if you
No,
made
I
it a bit
fully
more
agree with what
open-ended,
you're
I'd
saying
probably find
there.
it more interested.
I don't think that's what he was saying though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now that would
I like
be
that.
incredible.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, you don't
Mhm.
learn it unless you apply it and
Yeah.
internalize it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's use it or lose it, basically.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not going to
exactly what I
remember
was
it if
getting
you
at.
haven't
Yeah.
internalized it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that really fits in with your channel too, because it seems like you're really trying to educate the masses on music theory. And I
Mhm.
think
Yeah, I think
engaging it in a contest like that really helps. You've learned this and now you need to do something from it, almost like a class.
You
I
could
think
also make it themed, like in a way, kind of like how you did the Dorian scale, Halo, and Gears of War.
Yeah.
You can make your own theme based on it, and then
Mhm.
see what it would sound like, or make your own Dorian theme.
I'd be careful with that in terms of modes specifically, because you don't know, like, lock people into like this mode means this, because it's not like people say that for the major scale, which is, you know, technically a mode in and of itself, because you go, yes, major scale, it has this one use. But yeah, I think a theme would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just.
Well, I remember in your original modes video, you had like the little sort of cheat sheet with the colors and the description, so those are really funny. But they didn't like lock it down.
I don't think that people need to go deeper than that with challenges. I think like people can learn the advanced concepts once they get the basics. It's like trying to teach someone how to do a double backflip before they do a backflip. You know, and it's like you have to help people gain the confidence in the Dorian, even if it's reduced, so that way they can then take complex applications of that. And I think that's for other videos, you know, where Underbelly has created a series that at the end of it, there's a bit of complexity going on. There's a bit of payoff going on. And I think for fans that reach that level, there can be a challenge for that. But if it's just talking about a mode, I think it should just stick to something simple, is my opinion.
Yeah.
I think keeping it simple is really beneficial, not only, you know, for more participation, but if you keep like, I like your idea of doing something on YouTube and then, you know, encouraging people.
That would be, that would be really good.
It'll be really good for the Discord too. It
also pushes people to the YouTube. Yeah.
It goes both ways.
It kind of helps everything.
Yeah, because people enter the challenges to, you know, get the challenge clout, and then but to be able to use that concept, if they don't already know about it, they have to go and watch the video. And if they've watched the video and then have gone, oh well, what do I do now? Then you're going, go do this challenge.
Yeah, and I think eventually it'll turn into like, it'll be cyclical and it'll turn into like this big snowball of people contributing in both ways. So
I think as time, we can also gauge what successful challenges are over time and experience. I think just time will tell, and we just have to throw ourselves in it and, you know, experience it ourselves maybe once, maybe a few times, and see what's fun, see what's good. It's kind of like listening to music. You don't know if it's good until you actually hear it.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the hardest things about music nowadays is the fact that people it doesn't take anything to get music anymore. Like, you used to have to go to the store and buy a record, and then you would come home and that's all you would have. So you'd sit and listen to the whole damn thing. Whereas now it's like you have Spotify and a song comes on and you don't like it, you just skip it because you're not invested at all in the music. I think the more you can invest people in what they're, you know, if you make them do a little bit of work, then they're invested, and now they're going to do this challenge. I think including the video really ties it all together in that way. It makes people invest time.
At the risk of sounding like a horrible hipster, like playlist sort of culture, it kind of annoys me that you do have this sort of thing of everything's single tracks and everything's just general vibes, and it's all like wallpaper music. And
it'll all change. It always does. Everything comes full circle. Like, I listen to new music differently, and my father gave me his entire vinyl collection. So I listen to like these classic records differently than I do with new music. So I have like my Spotify time on my way to work, and then there'll be times like, if, you know, I live with my girlfriend right now, and like if I have the house to myself, I'll just throw on some music and just listen to something in its entirety with the headphones on, or blasting it.
What's that like?
It's honestly
having the house to yourself. What's that like?
I know this is once in a blue moon, and it very seldom happens. But when it does, it's some of the most peaceful times I felt in my adult life. That's for sure.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. There's something about putting a record on and sitting down and investing that time. You know, even if it's shit, sometimes it's still, you get something out of it.
Just having a good like listening session for anything, for any like album, is just really amazing.
I like working.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Thanks. I like listening to official soundtracks while I'm working on a game. So while I'm doing work, I'm also thinking about the music that I want to associate, and then I also invest into what is this person thinking, and then I listen to a podcast of the person's interview and their process, so I get an idea of what their perspective is like versus like what I don't know. I like going in really deep when I work.
Context is good.
Yeah.
It goes a long ways.
Yeah, sometimes context really like elevates stuff, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to break in, but like I just love how the screen just like changed around to each of your faces when you were talking. And then it's just those letters.
You're right.
I don't know what that's so funny to me, but
It's so wholesome.
just this underbelly and pixel wax, and then
I just keep trying to scroll Underbelly's Discord page and click on the notification that's up. I keep trying to check that shit.
Same.
I keep trying to click on your shared screen and scroll your Discord.
Ooh, notification.
cut Steve, dude.
It's not working.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, is that my Discord? No,
I need you to click that right now.
I'm triggered by that alert.
Need a little bit of serotonin. Just click it.
See a little red and your heart beats faster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Same.
How do you even do that?
It's messed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Forget what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
It's always interesting to hear like non-producer opinions after being in like basically this bubble of producers. Get so much feedback from like other producers, and then you go to like just someone who doesn't make music, and you're like, oh, what do you think of this? And like, it's just very different.
Yeah. Is it good? Like,
The thing is, it usually depends on the person. A producer would be like, actually, I really like this thing and this thing and this thing, or I don't like this thing. This isn't my genre, but this. And then someone like a normal person would go like, yeah, that's all right. It's not really my style. Or someone would be like, oh yeah, this is like the best thing on planet Earth. And then someone else would just be, okay. Yeah.
It's like a gut feeling.
I think what, yeah. I think when you make, yeah. I think when you make anything, you can sort of, I mean, not even necessarily make, but like you're quite analytic about something. You can sort of listen to stuff differently. Like you like consume media differently if you make it. Like not just music. If you're like a game designer, you know, you might looking at you, Alex. If you're like working on a game, I'm sure that might change how you're looking at like other games when you're playing them, and maybe you can or can't, I don't know, switch off like with like music. Like I have like roast mode, and then I have like, oh, I'm actually just listening to this, listening to this.
It's really hard for me. Like I make beats every day for my game, and I'm like so steeped in my own work that I get feedback from my programmer almost every day too, and he tells me it's good, and then I listen to people and they tell me it's good, but sometimes even then it's hard for me to know what to improve on, because sometimes someone will say like, oh well, have you, like for example, there was a person that was saying you should use a 169 chord because it's all cool and extra restful instead of the cheap horrible one major seventh chord, you know. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, it's cool, man. Like, so it's weird because it's like, I think I'm realizing that music more is less about like competition, more about communication, like understanding where people come from, than like me trying to project like, look at how cool I am with all my fancy bullshit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, if you talk about, I think what Umi was saying the other day, that was something different. But I think people also get wrapped up in trying to avoid that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like they're like, fuck off! Oh, I'm gonna make the music the way I want to with my like limited palette, and you can't give me all these tools. Who do you think you are?
Yeah, that too.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Fuck
You're
it,
just
brother.
fucking yourself.
Hmm.
But yeah, on like the flip side, it's like the only reason that you like even bother learning like theory is so that you can understand what the hell everyone else is talking about. And you go, oh, that's a cool idea I hadn't thought of. I'll just add that to my toolbox, and then you have. I always liken it, you know, it's like a spoken language. You can communicate a lot better if you have access to a greater vocabulary.
Absolutely.
And
Hey guys,
just because you have this bloody massive vocabulary and you know these fancy words doesn't mean that you have to use all of them. It just means that you can. And you know, it's like you don't have to just basically bust out a thesaurus all the time, because certain words just work really well all the time and whatnot. But yeah, very much that's basically how I view it. Where some people just want to stick with, you know, a limited vocabulary, and it's like, yeah, well, I mean, that works for you. Most of the time you're not going to need this or that, and maybe, you know, the way that you want to speak doesn't need any of that. But if you ever wanted to speak in with different vocab, you'd have to learn it at some point, or try and, you know, come up with it. And that's why it always sort of takes me off a little bit when like, you know, like as you were saying, not people seem to go for mixing and like sound design and all the sort of technicalities, all the technical stuff, before they go for the expanding their like actual musical vocabulary. And instead they get the bloody chord plugins and whatever all the blooming whatever people are using these days, which is like, okay. But that's just me being a fucking theory what would you call him? Theory snob. Yeah, that's it. That's me being elitist. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like you're missing out on something when you're letting a plugin
Absolutely.
build like that. He says using presets all of the time, but we'll ignore that.
Cool.
I have one question for you. I've just posted a link in the Patreon lounge. Is a beat that you have not released yet that you shared in collabs? Patron chat.
Finally,
Yeah.
a little shout out. My 30th birthday is day after tomorrow on Sunday.
Nice.
Ooh,
Happy
getting up there.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted, I might be around to just play music.
Mm. Yeah, in collab. Yeah, I could tell.
You got all that
Yeah.
from the first kick you played?
I'm gonna be honest. You're gonna have to look for a long time to find any female singers in this Discord. To be
Ooh, wow.
What do you mean?
Sweet.
Wait, Discord. What is it? So it's just like a voice channel where
That's
you can like
awesome.
listen. I don't think it's people are gonna talk over the music though.
One day we should do some stuff like that. I think if oh no, you know what we need to do? We should do after each challenge we do, we should have a listening party where we listen through all the submissions. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that tomorrow. That'd be cool. Anyway, see ya.
See you guys.
Peace.
I
See ya.
Thanks once again.
Hey. See ya.